Such a cause that all of them can come under that fold, that's wonderful. But anyway, so you find how political leaders all the time by creating in people an identification. Either identify with Gujarat, so Narmada is our project, or identify with environment, and you invoke in them something, and just form a group, and then all kinds of movements will start. So there is enough passion inside. Everybody has enough passion. That is called kama. That passion is there. That just has to be invoked. And without passion, nothing can be done. Without kama or the passion, nothing can be done. Or if you do something, there will be no meaning at all. It will not have any kind of... Whatever is done with passion alone will be meaningful. Good, bad or indifferent. And therefore, invoking kama or the passion, that's what we have to do. I shouldn't say that's what we have to do. That's what gets done, That's when you find people responding. And responding with emotion, responding with involvement, responding with passion. So passion is very required in life. Don't think that kama is really just destructive all the time. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Lord Krishna himself says in the 7th chapter that in the living beings, the human beings, I am kama, I am that very passion. Dharma aviruddha. As long as that passion is in keeping with dharma, that passion is required. Without passion, person will not do anything. So, mukshutvam, moksha me bhuyad ichha, that tibra ichha, that strong craving for moksha is nothing but passion. Except that passion of the kama, that mundane passion, has been transformed into this passion of moksha. That alone is called ichha. We discussed it at great length. How ichha of the kama cannot be given up. But ichha of the kama has to be transformed. Because passion is required to do anything. Without that you cannot do anything. Those who is able to work hard and who is able to achieve things, those are passionate people. So nothing wrong with passion as long as that passion is well placed. People who destroy the world are also passionate people. People who serve the world are also passionate people. Without passion, nothing can be done. Look at Gandhi, he was a very passionate man. In the beginning, he was a very passionate man also with mundane passion. Just flesh, passion of the flesh. Which God completely transformed the passion for the spiritual progress, spiritual pursuit. Look at Swami Vivekananda, a very passionate man. Even Ramakrishna Paramahansa, everybody is passionate people. The passion expressed, that's what we call bhakti ultimately. When that passion gets transformed with the passion for Lord, that alone is called bhakti. So what is kama alone becomes prema. When that kama or the passion is just purified, all its likes and dislikes or attachment and aversions, that very kama, so nothing wrong with kama. It's not that we have to suppress it, it's that we have to sublimate it, we have to transform it, that's all we have to do. So those people who want to suppress things, that's not necessary. Vedanta doesn't ask us to suppress things. Vedanta says understand it and transform it, sublimate it. The very passion which I have for the money, which I have for, personal achievements, if that very passion is seen to be, is converted or transformed to passion for moksha, if that very energy is available for me to do whatever is required for my welfare. At the moment, however, that's the reason why the passion is the same. But there are three kinds of fellows. One is aviveki, second is viveki, and third is jnani. For an aviveki or a non-thinking, non-discriminatory person, that passion only results into nothing but creation of samsara. Samsaram chadigacchati. His passion creates samsara. Like a silkworm that creates a shell around itself, so the ignorant aviveki man by his own passion. So actions performed by his mundane passion only create samsara around himself. Who is a viveki? Viveki is the one who is committed to transform his passion, not yet transformed. But viveki is the one who is committed to transform his passion from the mundane passion to what we may call divine, if you want to use these words, from asuri sampat to the daivi sampat. Asuri sampat also is passion. Daivi sampat also is passion. So people who are kind and compassionate are also passionate people. Why should a Mother Teresa keep on working for years and years? There's a passion there. Look at Jesus Christ, very passionate man. And wants to automatically, that very love which has become so pure, that becomes healing, otherwise it becomes destructive. So very passion can become destructive, which we find so much in the world today. Is passion employed for destructive means? This is what we call all militancy or all whatever it is, terrorists and so forth. Ill-placed passion. And there are other people also who are serving the world also. They are also there. Well, what we may call well-placed passion. Why? Because one passion hurts others, other passion blesses or heals others. And so, the hurting passion of an ignorant man is sought to be transformed to the healing passion of a discriminative man. And when that completely becomes healing, he is a wise man. So wise man also has a passion. Don't think that he is just not doing anything. Passionate means he may not be physically doing something, but definitely his passion has become so pure. It may not come out as just activities, but there is always that blessing in his heart. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu. This is not an ordinary thing. When he says, may everybody become healthy and happy, may everyone see auspiciousness, that is a tremendous power or tremendous influence. So, how the passion is expressed, whether expressed through physical actions or expressed through just the mental actions or whatever. But understand that what we call progress or maturity is nothing but transforming the very force that we have. Everyone is born with this force, karma or the passion. And nobody should be ashamed of it either. But one should recognize it and one should seek to work with it and transform it, that's all. Those who don't have that passion can't accomplish much in life. Those who have are the people who accomplish. And the nature of accomplishment will depend upon where their passion is focused, that's all. Here we are talking about an ignorant person, a passionate man of course, but ignorant, not knowing where to direct his passion. And therefore his passion is directed merely for his own yoga and kshema, directed for his own security and well-being. And therefore, karma, that kind of kartavya is karma is performs. Everybody has kartavya buddhi. Nobody is free from kartavya buddhi. Even a wise man is not free, I am telling you. Even a wise man is hardly free from kartavya buddhi. There could be some. But most people, we call it prarabdha. So that passion which is there, that prarabdha makes them do a lot of things. And passionately they do things. Even if they don't do it for themselves, they do it for the people, do it for the world. And so just because a man is acting does not mean he is an ignorant person. But then, that kartavya buddhi is created, that drives him. So, Bada Swamiji's guru, the totally contrast, Tapovan Maharaj on one hand and Bada Swamiji on the other hand. Tapovan Maharaj means what? From morning till evening, he would just sit there in his balcony and gaze at the Ganges. That's all he did. Whatever he did, that's all. As I said, he was like a well. So his principle was, those who want knowledge should come to me. Well, those who are thirsty will come. And his disciple always looked at the Ganga. So Ganga doesn't wait for people to come. From those mountains, the Ganga flows, gushes and whatever, to the plains. And that is how he looked at it. And therefore, he adopted the model of Ganga. Other one, the model of well, that's all. Both, of course, satisfied the thirst of the people who came, who were thirsty. Whereas one expected or required or demanded that those who are thirsty should come to me and pull out the water from me. Other one said, I will go and serve and then make the water available. Anyway, but Tapovan Maharaj told him, this Bada Swami himself said, says, Chinmaya, don't run after this work. Don't run after karma, because karma will run after you. So, in 1978, I think, 78 it must be, when in Sandipani this statue of Tapovan Maharaj was unveiled, when Bada Swamiji was talking about, his days and stuff like that, this is what he said, that my teacher told me, don't run after the karma, karma will run after you, and that's exactly what is happening, that's what he was saying. But anyway, so what we are saying is that the passion is always there. It's all a prarabdha or whatever you call it, And so, that's the reason why great people, they display different kinds of tendencies. And all those tendencies are described in Vedanta also. But anyway, karma kartavya is there everywhere. So just because the kartavya doesn't mean that it is always a product of ignorance. Kartavya is there when there is a passion. When passion is there, depends on identification. But anyway, so karma kartavyataya niyataha. This person, the ignorant person, becomes niyataha. Niyata means what? Karmadinaha. He becomes karmadinaha. He becomes actually adhina, controlled by karma. Instead of his controlling karma, he is controlled by a passion, and that's the reason why he is controlled by karma. The discriminate person is the one, Viveki or Mumukshu is the one who wants to master his passion. And therefore he follows the dictates of the scripture rather than dictates of his own fancies of the mind, where the ignorant person follows the dictates of his own mind. That's the difference there. So mainly performs sakama karma, whereas the Viveki is the one who would seek to perform nishkama karma. Savarnashramaabhimanaha karma kartavyataya niyataha. So the one who is karmadina, thus controlled by the devatas and others, who are now in a position of favoring him, and he has accepted a position of being favored. He is seeking favor. And therefore those who can favor him, naturally control him, dictate him. Kama prayuktaha. Therefore, as prompted or impelled by kama or the passion, juhotyadi karma vihi devadinam upakurvan. Juhotyadi karma vihi. You have to go to page 317 just to refresh your memory of what is meant by this juhotyadi karma. Atho ayam va atma sarvesham bhutanam lokah sayajjuhoti yadyajate tena devanam lokah. That Brahmana described, that Kandika rather described. Atho ayam va atma sarvesham bhutanam lokah, the 15th Kandika. How this ignorant person becomes the loka or a bhogya, the object of enjoyment of the whole creation. Sayajjuhoti yadyajate tena devanam. So that he makes an offering, oblation of fire, or that he gives gifts to the devatas, by that he becomes bhogya of the devatas. So when Bhashyakara says juhotyadi, this juhoti is this sayat juhoti. Juhoti adi, so juhoti, yajate, anubrute, nipranati, prajamicchate, all of this. So juhotyadi meaning all the various karmas beginning from havanam, beginning from offering the oblation to fire. So juhotyadi karma bihi, by all those various karmas, devadinam upakurvan, devadinam, devadaradi, in the whole group, the devatas, rushaya, pitrus, then manushyas, and then all these creatures. And so devadinam upakurvan, serving their purpose, fulfilling their needs by performance of this homa, yaga, etc., then he actually serves the purpose of the devatas and others, or upakurvan, then helps them, supports them. Sarvesham bhutanam lokah iti uktam, loka bhogya hai. Or the ignorant person becomes bhogya hai, or the object of enjoyment for the entire creation, that was said in the 15th Kandika, in the earlier also. Anyahasau anyohamasmi, that is the beginning from the 10th Kandika, the avidya prakram, and then creation of varnashrama, and then culminate ending in the 15th Kandika, where it was said how he becomes loka or bhogya for the entire creation. So number one, ignorance. That creates a division between the upasaka and the upasya. And that duality is because of identification with varnashrama. That creates a sense of kartavya, the sense of, duty. And that's what makes him perform the actions by which he serves the purpose of various elements of the creation. And that is how he becomes bhogya, he becomes the object of enjoyment for the whole creation. This has been all said earlier. This is vrittam kirtayati. Vrittam means what has gone by, kirtayati. Bhashyakara here reiterates what has been described. Now read Anandagiri. Tatra iti atikranta brahmanokti tatra avidwan anyam devatam upaste atikranta brahmanokti. So fourth brahmana, atikranta, the brahmana, the fourth brahmana that has just preceded, that is what is referred to by the word tatra, there, in the fourth brahmana. Upasya shabditam bhedadarsanam avidya karyamanena anudya na saveda iti tadhetuhu avidya purvatra prastuta iti yojana. So upasya shabditam bhedadarsanam avidya karyam anena anudya. So anyam devata upaste. when one worships a devata who is other than oneself. Upasya Shabdidam. So, what is actually conveyed by the word upasana or worship is Bheda Darshanam. Anyam devata upaste. He worships a devata who is different from himself. Avidya karyam. And that is Bheda Darshanam. Looking upon the worshipped as separate from oneself, that Bheda or the duality is Avidya karyam. That is the product of ignorance. Anena anudya. So by this actually, anudya, reiterating the effect of the ignorance, nasaveda iti taddhetu avidya purvatra prastuta. Avidya prastuta. So, yaha anyam devata upaste, asayo anyam devata upaste, anyo asau, anyoham asmiri, nasaveda. So that's how, as we said, Upanishad describes the nature of avidya. Nasaveda iti taddhetu avidya purvatra prastuta iti yojana. And that is how avidya was presented in the previous Brahmana in this manner. Atho ayam is the one that we just read on page 317. Atra uktam anuvadati. So, tatra vidwan anyam devata upaste anyo savanyam asmiti. Up to that point is a reiteration of the Kandikas 10th up to 14th, where the Bheda Darshanam was said, the second part of the 10th, and the Varnashrama, and the 10th basically, then Savarnashrama Vimanaha is a subsequent creation of Varnashrama. So, Atho ayam iti yatra uktam anuvadati. So, what was said in the 15th Kandika, Savarnashrama Vimanaha. Karma kartavyata niyataha juhotyadi karma vihi kama prayuktaha. Then the Kandika that we just read, Atmaivedam agrasit eka eva so kamayata jayamesya rasa prajaya, and so on and so forth. So Atmaivedam agrasit ityada uktam smaravi kama prayukta. So kamayata jayamesya. He desired, may I have wife, etc. So thus, in all these Kandikas, beginning from 10th up to the 17th Kandikas of the 4th Brahmana, the avidya prakarana has been described in this manner. Avidya prastuta. Now says Anandagiri, Vrittam anudya uttara grandham avataraitam apekshatam purayate. Vrittam anudya, having reiterated what has been described, uttara grandham avataraitam, in order to introduce the subsequent following text, apekshatam purayate. So, what is required, by way of, there is an expectancy, that is what Bhashyakara supplies, he fills up the gap. So, he fills up the gap between the 4th Brahmana and the 5th Brahmana in order to show the connection between the two Brahmanas. Yathacha iti, says Bhashya. Yathacha swakarmabhihi ekaikena sarvabhutaihi असौ लोकः भोज्यत्वेन सृष्टः एवं असौ अपि जुहोत्यादि पाङ्क्तकर्मभिः सर्वाणि भूतानि सर्वं च जगत् आत्मभोज्यत्वेन असृजत. Yathacha swakarmavihi. Yathacha, and again, swakarmavihi, by one's own actions, ekaikena sarvabhutehi asau lokaha bhojyatvena srishtaha. Ekaikena, by every individual, sarvaihi bhutehi, by all the beings individually, asau lokaha bhojyatvena srishtaha. Now, so, ekaikena sarvehi bhutehi asau lokaha bhojyatvena srishtaha. Asau lokaha karmanusthada bhojyatvena srishtaha. So, how he first of all becomes bhojya for the entire creation. So, for the devatas and rishis and pitrus and all of them, this person is bhojya, or this person is the one who is enjoyed by them. So, by their own karma, they have created me, So these devatas and rishis and pitrus, by what they are doing? So devatas are also constantly favoring me, serving me. The rishis also by providing the store of knowledge. The pitrus also by giving me the body and supporting it, and so on and so forth. How all those elements by doing their karma have created me for their enjoyment, you see. यथाच स्वकर्मभिः एकैकेन सर्वभूतैः असौ लोकः भोज्यत्वेन सृष्टः. This individual has been created by all those people as an object of enjoyment by their own action. Evam, in a manner similar to that, asau api, this individual also. Juhotyadi panta karmabhihi. So he also performs the karma. Juhoti, yajate, and so on and so forth. Anubrute. So by all these various karmas, panta karmabhihi, the karma that involves the fivefold factors as described in the previous Kandika. What is it? Atma, Jaya, Putra, Vitta, Karma. At the external level. Or Manaha, or Vag, Pranaha, Chakshuhu, Shrotram, and Atma meaning is Deha. So these are the five factors internally. So that is why every karma was described as Panta Yajna, a yajna involving five factors. So Juhotyadi Panta Karma Bihi. So by the karma such as Havana etc. involving the fivefold factors, Sarvani Bhutani Asrujata. Thus this individual created all the beings. Sarvam Cha Jagata. And he created the entire world. Atma Bhojyatvena Asrujata. This Jiva has created all those devatas. Devatas enjoy him, he enjoys devatas also. Pitrus enjoy him, he enjoys Pitrus also. So parents enjoy the child. Parents have the child for their own enjoyment. The child also enjoys the parents, their protection and warmth and love and everything else. So enjoyment is mutual. Devatas enjoy him by way of his performance of yajna, yagadi, etc. and receiving their oblations. And I also enjoy the devatas by way of the karma phala that they give me. So I enjoy them and they enjoy me. This is what the Upanishad wants to show. Evam asavapi. So this is a connection that Bhashyakara provides. The Upanishad shows how the whole creation is enjoyed by this person. Earlier it was shown how the whole creation enjoys him. Now this one will show how he enjoys the creation. And so Bhashyakara says how that is the nature of creation. That they created him for their enjoyment, and he by his own actions creates the entire, all the beings and entire creation for his own enjoyment. Juhotyadi panta karmabhi sarvani bhutani sarvam cha jagata. Says footnote number 6. So footnote number 5. Asavobi karmatu narobi. This person who is performing the karma sarvam chaidi swakarma anarjitasya bhogyatva ayogat. You cannot enjoy anything that is not a product of your own karma as a rule. You can enjoy that which you earn as a result of the performance of your own karma. Swakarma anarjitasya bhogyatva ayogat. Since you cannot enjoy that which you have not produced by your own karma, bhokta saram bhojyam arjitam. We should say bhoktra saram bhojyam arjitam ityartha. Therefore, by the bhokta, all this has been arjitam. We should imagine that this universe has been earned by him by performance of his karma. See, in this apparently simple looking language, Upanishad is telling us the very fundamental truths of our life, how the whole creation is interconnected by what they call the bhokta bhogya. So bhokta bhojya relationship. How, as I said, everyone is simultaneously bhokta and bhojya, and how that whole chain, the interlinking is there, and how therefore you must recognize the interlink while conducting yourself. And if you overlook this interlinking, then you will have to pay for it. The idea is that we should recognize how I am not an isolated being, how a man is not an island, but he is a part of the whole universal chain. I am what I am on account of what the universe is, and therefore the universe is what it is on account of me. And therefore this we must recognize. Therefore I am what I am on account of what the universe is, therefore I must have a sense of gratitude or a sense of obligation. And the universe is what I am because for that I must have the work ethics, that what I do counts, and therefore I must make sure that I act in a proper manner so as not to disturb the harmony of the universe. So how Karma Yoga involves both of these aspects. Lord Krishna, of course, being what he is, so how nicely this is being said. Devan bhavayatanena te devaha bhavayantu. O human beings, may you propitiate the devatas by your karma. Te devaha bhavayantu. And those devatas will actually propitiate you by the result of action. So you support them, they support you. Parasparam bhavayantah shreyah param avapsatah. Thus parasparam bhavayantah, thus mutually supporting, mutually nourishing. May you all grow or progress in your life. So scheme of the individual progress is given there. The spiritual progress is given by Gita and therefore by the Upanishads. So sarvam cha jagat atma bhojyatvena asrujata. How this individual created this entire universe, atma bhojyatvena, as something to be enjoyed by himself. Says Anandagiri, Gruhinaha Jagatascha Parasparam Swakarmopajatvam Eshtavyam Anyatha Anyonyam Upakargatva Ayoga. Actually, Anyatha Anyonyam Upakargatva Ayoga Dityartha. Gruhinaha Jagatascha Parasparam. Gruhina means to perform the karma, and Jagat means the whole universe. Parasparam Swakarmopajatvam Eshtavyam. It is only proper or desirable that the Jagat should be that which is created by this person by his karma, and he should be the one that is created by Jagat by its own karma. So Jagat also produces a person by its own karma. That's how the whole avatara comes in, So the creation actually puts forth an entity which we call avatar or incarnation. The combined prayers of many people over a long period of time then actually produce an entity which is called avatar or incarnation. I mean, you can explain it that way. It perhaps, that may not be Shastric explanation because avatar is totally dependent upon God. But at the same time, we find that in the Puranas, before Lord, he watches everything there in Vaikuntha. He doesn't come down. He comes down only when people pray to him, that's all. So you find that the avatar takes place when the whole world prays. He's sleeping there. I shouldn't say sleeping, but he's sleeping there in his Shesha Shaya, in the Kshira Sagara. Apparently unperturbed by what all is happening on the earth. As though he doesn't know anything. And so the Prithvi takes the form of a cow with Brahma and with all the devatas they go. And he has to be woken up from his sleep. So Brahmaji chants Purusha Suktam, and then Lord hears and then wakes up and then blesses them. So as though he did not know all this thing, how come he has to be told? So that means he has to be told, knock and it shall be opened. You have to knock, that much you have to do. Ask and it shall be given, that much you have to do. That much initiative is expected. Ask, it shall be given. Knock, it shall be opened. He is ready to open, but he expects that much, that you should knock. Ye yatha maam prapadyante tam tathayo bhajamyaham. In whichever way they worship me, in that manner I bless. He expects worship. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachate. So those people who offer me with devotion, whether it's a leaf, or a fruit, or a flower, or a drop of water, whatever they offer me, but they should offer me, but he expects an expression. He expects an expression of that love, prayachati. Even he requires proof apparently, Love being what it is, nobody can understand it anyway. And therefore, it can be understood when it is expressed, I guess. So Lord Krishna says, Yume bhaktya prayachati. So when they offer it with love, tadaham bhakti bharatam ashnami prayatatmana. Then I enjoy it as though a full meal is given to me. Even all he has given me is a leaf. But I enjoy it as though he has given me everything, And so, thus there seems to be a need for expression of one's own desire in concrete form. That's why we find that in the Puranas, the prayers of many people combined for a length of time. In Dandakaranya also so many rishis were there. They were all tortured by those Rakshasas, and rishis were praying for, we don't know how long. As a result of which Lord Rama goes there. It's not for nothing that he was banished to forest. And all this business had to be done, Kaikeyi to do this and Manthara to do that and all this. So Since Tulsidas would not like, all that even Kaikeyi also should do this, or Manthara also should really be act in this manner. So therefore, he would say that Devatas pray to Goddess Saraswati that you go and sit in the tongue of this mantra and make her say what, because mantra also was a devotee. After all, Kaikeyi was a great devotee of Lord Rama herself. And how can she do this? So Saraswati has to go and sit on her tongue and make her do this. Because his heart doesn't accept that anybody should be evil, and therefore he avoids talking about it. That these people of Ayodhya, that they criticize Sita and she was banished, he can't see this. He can't think about it. So he doesn't describe that. In his Ramcharitmanas, he would want to avoid all this kind of description because his heart is too tender even to think that there is an evil in the heart of anybody. But anyway, it is not for nothing that all this drama was played, that Lord Rama had to go to. Whether he killed Ravana or not, that's one thing. But before that, so many Rakshasas also were taken care of, And it was all because of in response to the prayer. So understand that people want, in the newspaper I read last year, that people in India are now waiting for Lord Narayana to come down. Then alone he can do something in this situation. He won't come down like that. We have to do something on our part in terms of creating an atmosphere for him to come down. But anyway, so how the Jagat and the Devatas also respond to this person. As you said, even avatar also is a response to the need. And so the creation is a response to the need of the person. Whatever be his needs, the Sankhyas describe the need as Bhoga and Apavarga. Bhoga is the enjoyment, Apavarga is the Bhoga is Preha, Apavarga is Shreya. And so these are the two needs, and the Jagat is created to fulfill these needs of the person. So Sarvani Bhutani, Sarvam Jagat, Atma Bhojyatvena Asrujata. He created this entire creation. So just as they created him for their enjoyment, so also he created them for his enjoyment. You can say that. So Grohinaha Jagadascha Parasparam Swakarmopajdatvam Ishtavyam. It is only proper that each one is able to enjoy the result of one's own karma. And therefore it cannot be that something is happening without a reason. Ishtavyam. Anyatha anyonyam upakargatva ayogat. Otherwise, you cannot explain the anyonyam upakargatvam, that mutual help or being mutually helpful cannot be possible unless each one has done something in order to create that. Ityartha. Says Anandagiri Nano Sutrasyeva Jagat Kartatvam Jnana Kriya Atishayavatvat Naiteresham Tadabhavatataha. Nanu Sutrasyeva Jagat Kartatvam. Wait a minute. We understand the Jagat Kartatvam, or the creatorship of the creation of universe is Sutrasya on the part of Hiranyagarbha. You can't say that Anisho va kuryat bhuvana janane kaf parikaraha. How can this little individual create the world? It is the Sarvagnya, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapi, Hiranyagarbha alone can create. So, Sutrasyeva Jagat Kartatvam Jnana Kriyas Atishayatvat. Because Yoyat Karta Satadnyaha, the creator must necessarily have the knowledge of what he is going to create, and therefore the creator of the universe must have the knowledge of the whole universe, and he also must have Shakti or the power to create what you want to create, and so the creator also must have the power, the Shakti to create. And Hiranyagarbha alone is endowed with the absolute measure or the total measure of the Jnana and the Kriya, and so Jnana Kriya Atishayatvat. Hiranyagarbha alone has the knowledge, and he alone has the power to create. Therefore, it is only proper that Hiranyagarbha alone should be creator and not this Jiva. Naiteresham Kartratvam. How can anybody else be Jagat Karta? Tat abhavat, meaning Jnana Kriya Atishay abhavat, because Anisho bha kuryat bhuvana janane kaf parikaraha. Anisha means this helpless fellow, this little individual. What samagri does he have to create the universe? And so, how can Upanishad say that this Jiva has created the world? Evamiti, says Bhashyakara. Evam एकैकः स्वकर्म विद्यानुरूप्येण सर्वस्य जगतो भोक्ता भोज्यं च सर्वस्य सर्वः कर्ता कार्यं च इत्यर्थः। एवं in this manner एकैकः, every individual, swakarma vidya anurupena, in keeping with swakarma, the rituals, and vidya, the upasana, the meditation that are performed. Everybody does it. Everybody performs rituals and meditation. Meditation can be of any kind. I can meditate upon anything. It's not that I can always meditate on God. I can meditate on a car. I can meditate on rasagulla. I can meditate on any object of enjoyment in my mind. That also becomes meditation. Understand that is not also wasted. That also has its own power to create. So you keep on meditating like that, you create those things. Anyway, so swakarma vidya anuru, we believe that nobody knows what's going on in my mind. That may be alright, nobody knows. But what is going on in your mind also has its own effect. That's for sure. That's the reason why one must always be very careful about what one thinks or what one allows oneself to think, because that also has its own power. Anyway, ekaikaha swakarma vidya anurupena, in keeping with one's own karma ritual and vidya, the upasanas, meditations, sarvasya jagataha bhokta, each one becomes a bhokta, the enjoyer of the entire creation, bhojyam cha sarvasya, and in turn also becomes bhojya, the enjoyed by the entire creation, which means what? Sarvaha karta karyam cha ityartha. And therefore, everyone is karta, the doer creator, karyam cha, the created also. Everyone thus becomes a creator and becomes created also. This is very simple. He tells this story sometimes, that in the beginning of creation, this man had just one desire. I want to eat chapati. Just one simple desire of eating chapati, rotli. So now God wants to give him chapati. Suppose God wants to just fulfill one desire of me, chapati, rotli. So for that what does he require? He requires wheat flour, he requires flour, fire, and that rolling board, and rolling pin, and whatever. And you require a little water, you require a little salt, I guess, you require a little ghee, you require a little, the rice flour, atama, whatever. So this is what you require. But then to give him this little wheat, wheat flour, he must create wheat crop. For that he must create the fields. For that he must create the sun and the moon and the wind and the rain and all the natural forces for the wheat to grow. I must create a farmer to till the soil and to sow the seeds and then to do all these things. He must create all the marketing mechanism to transport that wheat from the field to the shop and then to my house. And all the storage requirement that is done in order to store them in different times, at different places, in different ways. He must create all the grinding mills in order to grind that wheat. And thus, to create then rain, he must create the sea and the rivers and the clouds and the sun and the moon. And the sun also means the whole solar system must be there, and the galaxy must be there. Everything must be there. For what? For one rotli. For one cup of tea, you require the whole universe just to satisfy any one desire. We must know that the whole universe, in fact, participates to fulfill every single desire of mine. Just one cup of tea, the whole universe participates in its own way. Even a little atom or an electron in the other world also participates in its own way by contributing something so that I can have my cup of tea. If that one electron were absent, I would not get my cup of tea. The universe would have been incomplete without even one atom. It would not be what it is without that atom. And therefore, we must know that the whole universe participates, constantly, alertly participating. Yadi shaham na varteya jadu karmanya tandritaha mama vartmano varteyam manushya partha sarvashaha. Lord Krishna says that if I do not constantly act, ceaselessly if I do not act, this world will come to a stop. So as every electron, as every proton, as every atom, it ceaselessly is acting. Everything is constantly in motion, constantly exhibiting the action. That's how we have the galaxies, and that's how we have the solar systems, that's how we have the planets, and that's how we have all these natural forces. He's constantly acting. For what? Because he knows I'm going to desire this. He knows after 100 years I'm going to desire this, and so action is right now taking place. By way of the prompting the idea of various research and investigations are going on, keeping in mind the need of the 21st century. So as a human being walks into the 21st century, whatever these needs are going to be, that's what Lord is to provide. And therefore, the wheels are all set in motion for all the research that is to take place, whatever battles must take place, whatever must take place, is all taking place so that man can walk into 21st century and fulfill whatever his needs are. At any time, whatever happens in response to the need of the creation, need of the world, the combined need of the world. So then what happens may not be my individual need, it could be combined need of something anyway, but the thing is how a mutual interaction is constantly going on. This is what the Upanishad shows in more than one places. So you think that Upanishad only talks about karma and stuff like that, but behind that what is intended is nothing but this whole universal scheme of things, and how a man is a part of that scheme, and how you should properly become a part of the scheme. Then you are in harmony with that scheme, and then you will grow, and if you hurt that harmony or if you violate that harmony, how you also will be violated. So to show the rule of life is the purpose of all this discussion. So sarvah karta karyam cha ityartha. Says Bhashyakara further, etadeva cha vidya prakarane madhu vidyayam vakshyamah sarvam sarvasya karyam madhu iti atmaikatva vijnanartham etadeva cha vidya prakarane vakshyamah. We shall show you in the vidya prakaranam. This is a vidya prakaranam. So this avidya prakaranam is the purpose for building up the ground for vidya prakaranam. Don't think this is purely avidya. Avidya also discussed in such a manner that it becomes a ground for vidya. Etadeva cha, the very same thing also, vidya prakarane madhu vidyayam. Now that is the madhu brahmana. Madhu vidya is the Brihadaranyaka second adhyaya, fifth brahmana. So that's a very famous brahmana called madhu brahmana. It will be shown how everything is the cause of everything else, and everything is the effect of everything else. Madhu vidyayam vakshyamah. We shall show you this. Sarvam sarvasya karyam, and madhu is the karma phala also. So everything is the product of everything else and also helpful to everything else. This is what madhu brahmana will show in the vidya prakaranam. But how does it help us in vidya? Why are you talking about all these things? Why are you saying that the individual is also karta and the karya, bhokta and bhogya and everything, cause and effect? So what's the need of discussing this kind of the nature of the universe? Atma ekatva vijnanartham. Ultimately for what? Atma ekatva vijnanartham. For the knowledge of the unity of Atma. Ultimately all the discussion has one relevance, and that is to show. By showing also the unity or harmony obtaining at the vyavaharik level, the intention is to show the harmony or the unity obtained at the paramarthik level. But when we see that oneness in the vyavahara, then alone we can reach that oneness obtaining the paramartha. You can't, in your life and values cannot be based on the division and hope to gain the knowledge of that undivided is not possible. So first the Upanishad tunes us up by how the identification, the creation, the cause and effect chain, and all the description is for the sake of the oneness of the Atma that we'll take up tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Vavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Yat Pita Ekamasya Sadharanam Dve Devana Bhajayata Trinyatmane Kuruta Pasubhya Ekam Prayachata Tasmin Sarvam Pradishtitam Yaccha Sonnamatti Pratikena Sadevanapi Gacchate Saurjamapajivate Iti Shlokaha. These are the shlokas, the mantras. Yat Saptannani Medhaya Tapasa Ajanayat Pita. That Pita or the Father, the Creator, Saptannani Ajanayat, that he created the sevenfold foods, Medhaya Tapasa. By Medha meaning by the meditation, by Tapas meaning by the rituals, that the Father, that Jiva, that he created these sevenfold foods. Ekamasya Sadharanam. Of the seven, one is Sadharanam, common to everyone, which is eaten by everyone, like the wheat and rice and whatever. Dve Devan Abhajayata. So the two kinds of food he offered for the Devatas, the Hutam, Prahutam, Ahuti as well as the presents. Trini Atmane Akurda, three kinds of food he kept for himself. The speech, the mind and the prana. Pashubhya Ekam Prayachata, the milk is what he offered the Pashus, the beasts of the animals. Tasmin Sarvam Pradishtanam Yaccha Praniti Yachata. In that milk alone, all the living beings are established, all the living beings live because of milk. Yaccha Praniti Yachana, that which breathes and that which does not breathe is all dependent upon milk. Kasmat Tani Nakshiyante Adyamanani Sarvada. How come these foods that are constantly being eaten, how come they do not get exhausted? Yo Vaitam Akshitim Veda. So one who knows the reason why the food does not get exhausted. Sa Annamattit Pratigena. He eats that food preeminently. Sa Devan Abhigacchati. He attains the state of Devas. Sa Urjam Apajivati. And he attains Urjam, meaning the nectar. So he lives on nectar. It is shlokaha. So these are the shlokas. Now Bhashyakara is in the process of giving us a background for this Brahmana and for the shlokas. Yathacha svakarmabhihi ekaikena sarvaihi bhutaihi aso loko bhojyatvena srishtaha evam asopi juhotyadi panta karmabhihi sarvani bhutani sarvam cha jagat atmabhojyatvena asrijata. Yathacha, just as swakarmabhihi ekaikena sarvabhutaihi, just as by their own actions of the rituals, by the bhutas, meaning by the devatas, pitrus, rishis, how the whole world, the different elements of the whole world, by their own actions have created this person. Lokaha bhojyatvena srishtaha. All of them by their actions have created me, who is their object of entertainment, who serves their purpose. Evam asovapi juhotyadi pankta karmavihi sarvani bhutani sarvam jagat atmabhojyatvena asrujata. Similarly also this individual, juhotyadi pankta karmavihi, by the various actions of offering and worship, which all actions involve these fivefold factors, Atma, Jaya, Putra, Vitta, Karma. So by these various yajnas, external and internal, involving the five factors, by these, Sarvani, Bhutani, Sarvam ja Jagat, even this individual also creates all the beings as well as the entire creation. Atma bhojyatvena asujata. So one individual also creates the entire world for his own enjoyment. Just as the world has created him for its enjoyment, so also this one creates the whole world for his enjoyment. Evam ekaikah swakarma vidyana rupena सर्वस्य जगतो भोक्ता भोज्यम च सर्वस्य सर्वः कर्ता कार्यम च इत्यर्थः. एवं in this manner ekaiकः, each one. It is true that we understand that Hiranyagarbha is the creator of the world, because creation of the world requires all the knowledge and all the power which Hiranyagarbha alone has. How can you say that this limited individual is the creator? In fact, the Mimamsakas believe that the Jiva creates the world, because they don't accept an Ishvara. Mimamsakas, the Purva Mimamsakas, they look upon karma as everything. And so karma is that which creates the karma phala. So this Jiva, this individual, by way of performing various karmas or rituals, he creates the karma phalas and creates the whole world. This is what they believe. So, ekaikah swakarma. And similar therefore, swakarma vidyana rupena sarvasya jagatah bhokta. Thus I become the bhokta, the enjoyer of the entire creation, depending upon the karma that I have performed. Bhojyam sarvasya. And I also become the bhojya. Everybody enjoys me also. So I enjoy the world and the world enjoys me. I use the world for my purpose, the world uses me for its purpose. Sarvah karta karyam cha ityartha. Everyone is a creator as well as everyone is created. Everyone is cause as well as everyone is effect. On page 333, Anandagiri says in the first line, Purvakalpiya Vihida Pratisiddha Jnana Karmanusthata Sarvo Jantuhu. So Hiranyagarbha also becomes a creator, because each individual is a creator. So each individual, by way of performing various rituals and meditations, as though requisitions a certain creation. Each jiva requisitions a certain creation. And accordingly, according to the total requisition of all the jivas, Hiranyagarbha creates the universe accordingly. So what is it that makes Hiranyagarbha or the creator create the world the way it is? We can say that Hiranyagarbha is a material cause, but what we call the nimitta karanam, or the efficient cause, is really provided by the karma. So avidya or Hiranyagarbha is a material cause, but karma becomes a nimitta cause. As we have been saying, what is it that is responsible for the particular configuration of this body and the particular configuration of this creation? Is the karma. And the karma performed by the various jivas. Thus each jiva or each individual, by way of performance of karma and upasana, because behind every karma and upasana there is a sankalpa, and through that sankalpa he as though places an order or makes a requisition that I want a creation like this. And thus the total requisitions of all the jivas, they form the basis of the creation of this universe. This is how, because it is not that God also creates the world at random. There is no random creation. Or that God also creates the fanciful world. He also creates in response to the needs and requests of all the jivas. In that sense, the jiva also becomes the creator of the world, the nimitta karanam for this world. So says Anandagiri, Purva Kalpiya Vihida Pratisiddha Jnana Karmanusthada Sarvo Jantuhu Uttar Sargasya Pitrutvena Atra Vivakshitaha. Purva Kalpiya, in the former kalpa, the former cycle of creation, Vihida Pratisiddha Jnana Karmanusthada, the jiva who is anusthada, so who is the performer of jnana and karma, of meditation as well as rituals, vihita and pratishiddha, both. An individual is going to perform vihita, the enjoined action, pratishiddha, the prohibited action. In short, the dharma and adharma is going to be there in the life of every individual. And that being the case, sarvo jantuhu uttar sargasya pitrutvenatra vyakshitah, every jantu becomes a pita or the creator of the following cycle of creation. So all those fellows who were there in the previous cycle of creation, on account of their having performed the dharma and adharma or the righteous and unrighteous actions, each one actually becomes a creator of this world of the following cycle. So footnote number 6, Pitruttvena iti. Now the verses are quoted from Vartika. Vijnanatma pita tavada na manona prajapatihi avishishtadikaritvat na vijnanatmano paraha sisrukshitatvan manasah tatha tranyatmanah prabho sadharanatma srashta nata kshetrajnato paraha iti. Says Vijnanatma Pita Tavata. Vijnanatma is Jiva. So here the one who is referred to as Pita is Vijnanatma, the Jiva. Na Manaha na Prajapati. It is not the mind nor the Prajapati that is the Pita here. See the Tika says Mana eva Pita iti shrutehe manaso va jagat srashtvatvat Prajapatirva mantrastha pitru shabdada iti ashankya. Mana eva Pita. It is said that the mind creates the whole universe. Or the Hiranyagarbha Prajapati creates the universe. So Manasova Jagat Srashtutvam. One may imagine that the one who is referred to by the word Pita, the father, here is the mind, because mind is well known as a creator. Or maybe it is the Prajapati who is referred to by the word Pita, because Prajapati also is well known to be the creator. Prajapatirva mantrastha pitu shabdata. And so yat saptannani ajanayat pita. That is how that pita. Medhaya tapasa ajanayat pita. Mantrastha pitu shabda. So the word pita in that mantra, he either means mind or means Prajapati. Because they are well known to be the creators of the world. Iti ashankya hai. Vijnanatma pita tavada. It is Vijnana. Jiva is a pita here. Na mano na Prajapati. Neither the mind nor the Prajapati are meant by the word Pita here. Why is it so? Avishishtadikaritva. Says the Tika, Sarvasmin jagadi jivasya karmadidvara sadharanyena karanatvat asavayavatra pita ityardha. Sarvasmin jagadi, in the entire creation, Jivasya karmadi dvara sadharanyena karanatvat. That jiva becomes sadharana karanam. You require a sadharana karana also. But sadharana karanam is karma. Asadharana, you require the material also, and you require various other things. You require the knowledge, you require the power, you require so many things, which are also the causes required for creation. But sadharanam karanam, that which is common, is the karma. And so, Sarvasmin jagadi jivasya karmadidvara sadharanyena karanatvad. As much as this karma becomes a nimitta karanam, and therefore sadharana nimitta karanam. That being the case, asavayavatra pita ityartha. Therefore, jiva alone is referred to here by the word pita. So avishishta adhikaritvat. Same thing. So sadharana karanatvad vijnanatma na vijnanatmanah aparaha. So none other than Vijnanatma is referred to here by the word Pita. So, na manah ityadi nigamayati na Vijnanatmano aparaha. That is the conclusion, that is none other than the Jiva, the creator here. Then the Tika says, Jivavat manasit prajapataucha karanatvam kim nasyadid ashankyaha. Well, the Jiva can be the creator. Why not the mind also the creator? Why not the Prajapati also the creator? Iti ashankya sisrukshitatvad iti. Sisrukshitatvat manasa, because mind itself is created. The point is, mind itself is created. And even tatha chanyatmanah prabho, that Prabhu, so even Hiranyagarbha also is created. That's the idea. Hiranyagarbha also is created and mind also is created. So sisrukshitatvat. So dvayoho api srishti nivishtatvena karyakodi nivishtatvat. Both the mind as well as Prajapati, srishti nivishtatvena, both of them are within the range of the srishti of the creation itself. Karya kodi nivishtatvat, because that means both of them enter in the category of karya. Na karanatvam, so mind also is created, so it is karyam. Prajapati also is created. How is Prajapati created? As we said, Prajapati also responds to the needs of the jivas, and Prajapati also becomes manifest according to the combined karmas, of the past kalpa. In that sense we can say that both of them are created. So na karanatvam, therefore they are not in the category of karanam, they are in the category of karya ityartha. साधारणात्मन सृष्टा नाथ क्षत्रज्ञतोपर सेद टीका सर्वस्य जगत है साधारणात्मा क्षत्रज्ञ है. सो क्षत्रज्ञ जीवा इज द साधारणात्मा सर्वस्य जगत है. ही इज द साधारणात्मा द एंटायर क्रिएशन. ततः अपरः न सृष्टा इति संबंध है. न तः क्षेत्रज्ञतः पर अपरः, दैट नो वन इज साधा यूनिवर्सल. सो जीवा इज द यूनिवर्सल एंटिटी हियर. And every jiva performs the ritual. In that sense, jiva is a universal cause. All others are what we call the specific causes. And therefore, the one referred to by our Pita here is this sadharana jiva. Okay. So, purva kalpiya vihita pratishitta jnana karmanusthada sarvajantuhu उत्तर सर्ग से पितृत्वेन अत्र विवक्षितः. अत्र प्रकरणे मंत्रे वा, either in this chapter or in this mantra. So the word pita means that, and all along in the prakarana also this word pita subsequently is going to refer to this jiva. नतु प्रजापति एव इति उक्तमर्थं संक्षिप्याः. Not प्रजापति but the jiva is the pita here. So भाष्यकार said सर्वस्य जगतः भोक्ता भोज्यं च सर्वस्य, सर्वः कर्ता कार्यं च इत्यर्थः. सर्वस्य मिथो हेतु हेतुमत्वे प्रमाणमाह. How come mitho means simultaneously? How everyone is simultaneously hetu and hetumat? Hetu means the cause, hetumat is the effect. So how come everything is simultaneously karya and karanam? So karanam is hetu and karyam is hetumat. So भाष्यकार is sarvah karta karyam cha ityartha. Each one is simultaneously the cause as well as effect. How can one thing be simultaneously the cause and effect both? Tasmin pramanamaha. Bhashyakara actually presents a pramanam here to show that how everyone is both cause and effect simultaneously. Etadeva iti. Etadeva cha vidya prakarane madhu vidyayam vakshamaha. This is what we are going to point out while discussion of madhu vidya. That is, madhu vidya is in the second adhyaya, the fifth brahmana. Sarvam sarvasya karyam madhu iti. That's how we'll say. Sarvam sarvasya karanam. Everything is the cause of everything else, and that is madhu. And says Anandagiri, sarvasya anyonya karya karanatvoktya kalpitatva vachanam kutra upayudyate. Now you are saying that the whole world is kalpita or projected or mithya, whereas here you are saying that everything is the cause of everything else. Sarvasya anyonya karya karanatva uktya. When each one becomes the cause of everything else, and everything becomes the cause of each one, and thus each one is the cause and effect of everyone else, that means that this is all very real thing, and you are saying so. Kalpitatva vachanam kutra upayudyate, says footnote number 8. Karyasya vikaradaya vacharammanatvad bhavaha. So vacharammanam vikaranamahayam mrityaka ityeva satyam. Says all vikara is mithya. So if this jagat is vikara and mithya, then how can you say that the Jagat is all tied, knit, So entire creation is knit together in this whole warp and woof of cause and effect. So cause and effect really makes up the entire creation. The whole creation is knit, in this whole chain of cause and effect. And thus it's all real. How come the Upanishad says that the world is unreal, whereas here you are saying that the whole world is tied together by the relationship of cause and effect? Tatraha, when the Upanishad itself says that everything is the cause of everything else and everything is the effect of everything else, it appears as though the Upanishad in the Madhu Brahmana is giving reality to this creation. And how does it really then, if the whole creation is real, how does it then, does it not contradict the other Upanishad which says that the creation is unreal? So Bhashyakara said, Atmaikatva Vijnanartham. Why is it all said? Atmaikatva Vijnanartham. All of this is for the knowledge of the oneness of Atma. That the whole duality of the nature of cause and effect is relative. And all of that is totally dependent upon and projected upon the Atma that is one without a second. And therefore, even while showing that, when we say that each one is a cause as well as effect, that shows that nothing can be defined as such. If you can define a given object as such and such, then you can say it is real. Here on the other hand, you look upon this as a cause from one standpoint. So this pen is a product. It is a product of various components of which it is made. Itself becomes the cause of maybe writing a book, who knows, And therefore, from one standpoint this is an effect, from another standpoint this is a cause, and therefore you can really never arrive at the nature of anything in this creation. And so as we were saying the other day, this one thing can be called the cloth also, it can be called cotton also. So it can be called cotton, it can be called fibers, and molecules and atoms and whatever. And therefore, there is no vyavastha at all. Everything is just a standpoint. So every definition ultimately, or every nomenclature, or every concept really becomes only a standpoint, and there is nothing absolute. From a given standpoint, a thing can be called such and such, that's all you can say. And not that a thing can be called that on its own. This thing is called a cloth, not because it is cloth. It is called a cloth only from the standpoint that it serves a certain purpose. From another standpoint, the very thing can be called cotton. Not that it is called cotton on its own, it is called cotton because it appears in a certain way. What it is are nothing but fibers. It can be called fibers only from a given standpoint, not that it is fiber in reality, it is nothing but molecules. And thus, any definition, any name that we give, and as we said, every name corresponds to a concept. And thus, a given concept we may have for a given thing, but that is nothing but a standpoint. Everything is relative. Nothing is absolute, therefore nothing is real. So this is the definition of real. Real is that which cannot be sublated, which cannot be negated, which is not a point of view. Real is that which is not a standpoint. Real is that which stands on its own legs, while nothing in the world stands on its own legs because everything is a standpoint alone. That I am a father is a standpoint. I am a son is a standpoint. I am a teacher, a standpoint. A disciple, a standpoint. A human being also a standpoint. A jiva also is a standpoint. A limited being also a standpoint. When I evaluate myself from the standpoint of the body, I am a mortal being. When I evaluate myself from the standpoint of my mind, I am a small limited being. When I evaluate myself from the standpoint of the intellect, I am an ignorant being. When I look at myself as Chaitanya, well, I am the absolute being. So everything else is relative. That being the case, and therefore whenever the Upanishad points out the nature of the creation as cause and effect, what it points out is that the creation is relative, it is mithya. And thus Madhu Brahmana points out how the whole universe is related to each other. Everything in the universe is related to everything else by the chain of cause and effect, showing that everything is dependent upon everything else. So who supports what? You can never say that. You can never tell what is the cause. And we must know that in the world you can never assign the cause to anything. You can never say that this is so because of that. Because also is because of something else, So they say that this person is what she is or he is because of the mother, But then the question is, why is the mother like that? Because of her mother. And why was her mother like that? Because of her mother. And therefore, what's the cause ultimately? It will go back to you perhaps that in some past birth you were the mother of this mother also, and therefore who knows that you are not the cause? That everything comes back like that, you see. Thus, when the Naiyayikas, when we analyze this world, we find that the world has so many defects, logical inconsistencies. So this dosha is called, this is ad infinite. When you cannot arrive at the ultimate cause, it leads one to the other, is infinite regression. Or sometimes it comes back to you. It is called chakratmaka dosha. Sometimes I am what because of you and you are because of me, that's anyonya dosha. Anyonya ashraya. And therefore, either things have what we call anyonya ashraya. Mother can say, I am because of this child was born like this, all the time throwing tantrums, and therefore I was obliged to be what I was. Who knows? After all, it is not that the parents always influence the children. Children also do that. They are born with such tremendous samskaras, that the parents are put under tremendous pressure. It's not easy to bring up a child, So this fellow every morning at 2:30 in the morning he wakes up and starts crying, that's all. He has to be given chocolate, all kinds. It takes half an hour, to calm him down. And so ultimately in course, because the parents don't have enough sleep for several years, they develop some funny nature, and that's how they become like that. And that influences the son. And he in turn again influences them. So who knows who has influenced whom? You can't even say that only the parents are responsible for this child. This child could very well be responsible for the parents being what they are, Each one contributes to the other. And therefore, who can say what? That you cannot say that this absolutely a reason, And therefore, as I said, the speaker may influence the listeners, The listeners also control the speaker. It is not that So generally we believe that the speaker always is sitting on a pedestal, and he always commands the audience. He is a captive audience, and therefore he can always exploit them, control them. He can do anything. He can taunt them, he can fire them, he can do all kinds of things, and he can love them or whatever he wants. And so many speakers do that also. Sitting there, they always, command the audience, and always keep on taunting them and keep on insulting them and hurting them, and all. That's how can keep them in control. And listeners, poor fellows, don't do anything. They're just sitting there, And they're like sitting ducks, as I say, Sitting duck means that can be shot at right away. Who is the sitting duck? The audience is sitting duck, or the speaker is a sitting duck. Because the listener also, just by sitting there also controls the speaker, Because the way they respond, the way they look, where they look, not only the way they look, where they look, how they sit, and everything else, Every moment, in fact, they are communicating. Every moment. Whether they doze off, then also they are communicating. They close their eyes, then they communicate. They look up, they look down, they look straight, and stare. All kinds of things they do. And so tremendous drama is going on in just one class. It's not, if you just have a television camera, you will find out how everyone is constantly contributing. And therefore, the way every class goes the way it is, it would be different if one more person was here or if one was not here. And therefore, that's the reason why so much importance is given to Shravanam, Because it's a very live communication. Don't think that people sitting here are merely, they are just, what shall I say, they are merely like the dolls who are just all like the wooden dolls sitting there, No. They are all live beings. And therefore, each one has a lot of things to say. And constantly they are saying also. Every moment everyone is saying, commenting upon what's going on. So what the speaker is saying is being commented upon constantly by the listener. And that is how the listener is obliged to respond, They invoke the listener. Very often they just, how come Swamiji said a given thing? Nobody knows. Swamiji also doesn't know. Why certain things get said in a certain class, in a certain way? Somebody sitting there invokes, And that's how, by entertaining certain desires, certain questions, very often we find our questions get answered. Very often we find a lot of things are brought up, that we want to avoid. And lots of things happen. That is because everyone sitting there invokes in some way, to such an extent that a lot of things that you say, you have no idea at all as to how they get said, or why a given illustration is given at a given time, and how it just fits in. And so many people go away from the class also, look, Swami said this to me alone, and Swami always talks to me. That's what some people believe. Both ways. Some people are happy that he talks to us. Some people say he always looks at me alone, and therefore he always tells me things. So different people have different conclusions about the same thing. It's amazing how what is said, if you listen to the cassette, none of this would be clear at all. When you listen to the cassette, none of this would be clear at all, and nobody would know. The cassette listener may not know what's going on here. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, what is going on? Or in Nishkarma Siddhi, why is it? Why all these things are going on? That they will never know. But people sitting here, somebody knows why it is going on. It's not everybody. Everybody wonders what's going on. But somebody knows why exactly it is going on. Even the speaker may not know why it is going on, but somebody there knows why it is going on. And therefore, as I said, everybody is a cause and everybody is a effect. Perhaps the teacher is supposedly molding the students by what he does, and the students are simultaneously molding the teacher by what they do. Thus each one controls the other, and thus different people have different ways of controlling. Some people control in an aggressive manner, and therefore you say a lot of things and control. Some people control in a very silent manner also, but in different ways you can control, As I said, by every little expression of the face we are communicating, and literally we are controlling, And so somebody permits himself to be controlled. Somebody may not be, somebody becomes defensive. The speakers, they become defensive, they become aggressive. It's amazing drama. But anyway, so that is how. The idea is that nothing can be said to be what it is because, you can't say that this is what it is. There are reasons why a thing is what it is. And again there is a reason why the reason is what it is. And there is a reason why that reason is what it is. And therefore, there can be no finality about anything in this creation. In that sense, the Upanishad points out how the whole creation is mithya, which means the duality is mithya. The cause and effect things are all mithya, which is what the scientists also have found out now. So until this Newton school of scientific thought, it was believed that the whole creation is tied with this is a mechanical creation. It's like a machine. Everything tied or connected with everything else as cause and effect. And that you can arrive at the mathematical, the physical relationship and express them in mathematical terms and explain every phenomenon as cause and effect. But only at the beginning of this century we found out that no, you can't say that this is so because of that, but probably it is so. And that's how an uncertainty factor that is called mithya. Probability shows uncertainty of a thing. And that uncertainty is the indefinability of everything. And that's what we call mithya. And therefore, this is, so atmaikatva vijnanartham. Thus, that's what Shankaracharya says, bhaja govindam, in his own way. Samprapte sannihite kale, nahi rakshate, dukkam karane. This chain of cause and effect will keep on making you go, take you for a ride. Therefore, Devi Hiesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duraktya. My Maya is extremely difficult to cross. Devi and Gunamai Mamaya Prapadyante. Therefore, the whole world is meant to really draw our attention to the world Adhishthanam. The whole, the play of Maya is really meant to draw our attention to the very Maya way. But we are so fascinated by the magic that we never look at the magician. But the whole creation speaks for itself. The whole creation really speaks loudly and declares that I am mithya, that I am magic, that you can never get a hang of me, that I am incomprehensible or unfathomable. And thus it constantly points the attention to the Adhishthanam, which is the God or which is the Atma. So Atmaikatva Vijnanatham. The whole duality is mithya, and so Atma is Eka, one, and Tad Vijnanatham. By the knowledge of oneness of the Atma, universal unity of Atma, is all this Madhu Brahmana. All this relationship of cause and effect, mutual cause and effect, is brought up by the Upanishad to show the oneness of Atma. Says Anandagiri, Evam Bhumikam Kritva. This is how the Bhumika for the entire Brahmana has been made by Bhashyakara. Uttara Brahmana Tatparyamaha. What is the Tatparya, the purport of the Uttara Brahmana, of the following Brahmana? Yadasau iti, says Bhashya. Yadasau Juhotyadina Pangtena Kamyena Karmana Atmabhojyatvena Jagadasrujata Vijnanena cha Tad Jagat Sarvam Saptadha Pravimajyamanam Karya Karanatvena Saptannani Uchyante Bhojyatva Tena Asau Pita Teshamannanam. Yadasau Karmakrit Naraha. That is Jiva, the performer of the Nivita and Pratisiddha Karma. Juhoti Ityadina or Juhotyadina. So Juhoti and then Yajate, and by all these various actions, Pangtena Kamyena Karmana, Pangtena Atmadi Panchaka Nirmitena. As we said, every karma is performed only when these five factors are there: Atma, Jaya, Putra, Vitta and Karma. Kamyena Karmana. It is true that the Jiva perform what we call Kamya Karma, the desire prompted actions, and therefore the universe is a response to his desire. So Kamyena Karmana. And what is the desire? Desire is always for happiness, and therefore I always desire an object of enjoyment. Since I desire happiness, and I realize that the happiness can be attained only when I have the object or the experience of happiness, experience always requires a desirable object, and therefore what I seek, what I desire is for happiness. But then I know that happiness can be only when I have something that is desirable, and therefore my desire is for the desirable object. And that's how the whole universe is of the nature of a desirable object. That's why it is created. It may look like it is not a desirable thing. A lot of things are not desirable, but everything is desirable to somebody. Whatever is in response to somebody's desire, somebody's requisition. That is why we say that everything is asti, bhati and priyam. To somebody this is dear. To me and you it may not be dear, but to someone who it is dear, and that's why it is created. And that's how the whole Atmabhojyatvena Jagat Asrujata, this Jiva created by way of his karmas, the entire creation Atmabhojyatvena as an object of his own enjoyment. Vijnanena cha. So karmana vijnanena cha, by the rituals as well as by the various meditations which are prompted by the various desires for becoming happy, he has created this whole universe as an object of his own, for his own enjoyment. Tad Jagat Sarvam Saptadha Pravibhajyamanam Karya Karanatvena Saptannani Uchyante or Uchyate, whatever, Uchyante. Tat Sarvam Jagat, this entire creation. So we can look upon this creation in various ways. As you said, the Upanishad presents variety of meditations, upasanas upon the creation. So what the Upanishad seeks to do is to point out certain order in the creation. And so that order becomes a very basis for my meditation. So here the order that is created, pointed out is of the nature of the sevenfold food. So Saptannani Uchyante. This entire Jagat is called Saptannani, is called the sevenfold food. Saptadha Pravibhajyamanam. When the universe is divided in the sevenfold ways, Karya Karanatvena Pravibhajyamanam, So when the universe is divided in a sevenfold ways as related to each other by the cause and effect, then it is called Saptannani, it is called the sevenfold. Uchyante Dhyanarthamiti Sheshaha. Dhyanartham. For the purpose of meditation, this is said. So how you can meditate upon the creation? How you can meditate upon the world in order to transcend the world? So as we said, every meditation requires some kind of harmony obtaining. That's what we call the Deva. Every Devata represents a harmony in the world or a certain law. And so the Upanishad points out various laws or various harmonies or orders obtaining at different levels in the universe, and that is how I meditate upon the universe. So here the universe is looked upon as made up of sevenfold food, where each one is connected to everything else by the relationship of cause and effect. See footnote number 9. Dhyanarthamiti Swakarmadina srustasya jagatah saptadha vibhaktasya सूत्रात्मकस्य स्वात्मना और स्वात्मत्वेन ध्यानम तद्भाव फलकम विधातुम उत्तरम ब्राह्मण इत्यर्थः. ध्यानार्थम स्वकर्मादिना सृष्टस्य जगतः. So jagat or the creation, that the universe that is created by one's own karma, the rituals and meditations, saptadha vibhaktasya, and that universe which is divided in a sevenfold way, sutratmakasya, which is nothing but the sutra. The entire creation is Hiranyagarbha, manifested as a creation of consisting of the seven foods. Swatmana dhyanam or swatmatvena dhyanam, that this universe I am, this Hiranyagarbha Sutratma I am. So I am Hiranyagarbha. What kind of Hiranyagarbha? Hiranyagarbha who is of the nature of the seven foods, So Hiranyagarbha is looked upon in different ways, just as the world is looked upon in different ways, and therefore Hiranyagarbha, who is manifest as a creation consisting of the sevenfold foods, that Hiranyagarbha I am. Swatmatvena dhyanam tad bhava phalakam. And what's the ultimate result of this meditation? Tad bhava phalakam, Hiranyagarbha bhava phalakam. So it results into attainment of the state of being Hiranyagarbha, because I become what I meditate upon. So if I say that I am Hiranyagarbha, that culminates into my becoming Hiranyagarbha. So, tad vidhatum uttaram brahmanam. In order to enjoin this meditation is the purpose of the subsequent brahmana. So this brahmana here enjoins meditation on Hiranyagarbha, who is of the nature of the manifest creation consisting of this sevenfold food. So Vashyakara says, Saptannani uchyante bhojyatvat. How come the universe is called seven food? Because the universe is bhojya, is something that is enjoyed by the jivas. Therefore, whatever is enjoyed is called food in that sense. So whatever you experience is called food. Whatever you eat is called food. Eat through the mouth or eat through the sense organs, all of that would be called food. Inasmuch as the whole jagat, that's why it's called annam. So tatonnam abhijayata. So Mundaka Upanishad says, Tataha annam abhijayata. From the Lord the anna came. Anna means this whole manifest creation, which is called food because it is enjoyed by people, enjoyed by different living beings. So the whole creation is called annam or bhojyam, that which is enjoyed. And so because it is bhojyam, therefore it is called annam. Tena means what? Jnana karmabhyam janakatvena iti yavad. Therefore, this jiva becomes the janaka, the pita, by virtue of his jnana and the karma, rituals and meditation of this creation. Tena asahu pita tesham annanam. Because of that reason, asahu jivaha annanam tesham annanam pita. Therefore, this jiva is the father of this anna, of the nature of this creation. Therefore, this jiva is presented here as pita, as a father. Brahmanam avatarya, mantram avatarayati. So, the following Brahmana, this Brahmana has been now, this is the whole theme of the Brahmana. And now this particular mantra that we are talking about, avatarayati, eteshamiti. So what is now in this Brahmana, what is the role of this mantra? That's what Bhashyakara says. Etesham annanam saviniyoganam sutrabhutaha samkshepataha prakashakatvat ime mantraha. Etesham annanam, of all the sevenfold foods, saviniyoganam, Viniyoga tatra tatra devalo sambandha tat saitaha. Saviniyoga. Viniyoga means upayoga or the application. Edesham annanam saviniyoganam. Not only does the mantra tell us what is the sevenfold food, but saviniyoganam, what is the use of this? So what kind of a food is used for what purpose? Saviniyoganam sutra bhutaha sankshepadah prakashakatvat ime mantraha. The mantras that are presented in the first kandika are sutra bhutaha mantraha, suchaka rupaha. So these mantras actually point out what the sevenfold foods are and also point out what is their viniyoga, what is their application or the use, and all of that is said in brief, and therefore this mantra is like a sutra, like a aphorism, and so this first kandika presented the mantras which are now going to be elaborated in the subsequent brahmanas. Now we can proceed further to the next page. Says the next kandika, page 334. Yat saptannani medhaya tapasa janayat pita iti medhaya hi tapasa janayat pita ekamasya sadharanam idameva iti idamevasya tat